Hello everybody, welcome back to another video where I talk over a game, notably Stardew Valley. And today I wanted to talk a little bit about pathological demand avoidance, which according to Wikipedia is a proposed behavioral profile characterized by an intense resistance to complying with requests or expectations and extreme efforts to avoid social demands. It is suggested by proponents that any expectation or activity such as brushing teeth or getting ready to leave home to visit a playground can trigger avoidant behavior. If the demand cannot be avoided, a panic attack or a meltdown may ensue. Now obviously this text was written for kids because I'm not about to go and visit a playground, but I do notice that I have quite a bit of pathological demand avoidance, and with me it's more in the sense of I get a letter in a mailbox, for instance, one of those famous blue letters that we get from our tax office here in the Netherlands, and then I'm like, oh my god, I don't really want to do anything with this. I don't want to know what's going on. I don't care. I'm not opening the envelope, and I do take it with me into the house because it's important, but it's going to lay on my kitchen table for at least a couple of days before I've built up enough energy to open it and see what's going on. Because I expect the worst, basically, like, oh my god, they're going to come and take all this stuff away or whatever they're going to do. Probably not going to happen. But there's an element of doom thinking whenever I get an envelope from any type of company that makes me think that, oh no, I'm going to have to call some number. They're going to send somebody over to do something in my house. I don't want people in my house. Like that type of thing. Just a bit of stress associated with receiving any type of mail. Now, I've always kind of had that, but I had it in particular when I had just moved house, because there were all these different companies that needed to know stuff about the new place that I was living and things that I needed to arrange and stuff like that. And if it's really, really urgent, I will get to it, but it really just takes a chunk out of my energy for that day, and then the rest of the day I can't really do much else. At least nothing that requires me to actually invest energy and time into something. I can sit behind a computer and vegetate while watching YouTube videos, that goes just fine, but other things that require me to think or do things, really not going to be able to do that. It also extends to things like emails. Whenever I see I've got an email, I don't want to read it. If I see somebody's left a voicemail, I don't want to listen to it. If somebody's calling, I'm definitely not planning on answering unless I know that there's a call coming and I have to get it. If somebody sends me a text or a WhatsApp message, same thing, or one of those text messages or emails via work, particularly if they're repeated, like somebody who really just enjoys sending half a sentence every 3 seconds and then tries to have a whole conversation like that, no thank you. I need to prepare myself before I look at that, because what I often see with myself, I'll hear something coming in, and then for the first couple of minutes I'm going to sit there and get really stressed, and then I need to calm down a little bit, and then I gather a little bit of energy, and then when I'm kind of like quiet, I can pick up the phone and take a look just at the notification to see what it is, and then I can see whether it's something that I really need to do something with, or something that I can safely put off for later, or just ignore entirely. And if it's something that I have to do something with, then I'll dismiss all the other notifications, but I leave that notification up so I don't forget. And then maybe the day after I'll look at it, or the day after that, depending on how much energy I expect that it's going to take me in order to deal with it. And is it handy? Is it useful? No, not really. But the fact that something's come in, like an envelope or even a phone call, it really stresses me out. Somebody wants me to do something right now, basically. Like they're hovering over me until I've actually done something, like to pick up the phone and stuff like that. I've always hated phone calls. I also don't like making phone calls because that's also kind of a stress thing for me. But it's more on the side of having to have some answer for whatever question they're going to ask me once they've actually answered the phone. And of course I tend to stutter whenever I have to like explain why I'm calling somebody in the first place, and then I feel like an idiot, and then the entire conversation kind of goes down that line, blah blah blah, but that's a different thing. But as I was already saying with getting letters in a mailbox, there's also this element of feeling like doom is hanging over me whenever an envelope shows up. And of course that's extra when it's something that is like a pressing matter. Like with the move, there was a lot of things that I need to do. And of course recently my dad passed away in April. There has been a lot of mail back and forth from all sorts of different organizations that wanted to hear stuff from us about, I don't know, what number his certificate had, and I needed to send all this information to people. I had to fill out a bunch of forms. I had to fill out this form to indicate for the court like what was in his possession at the time that he passed, how much was on his bank account, what insurances did he have, and all these different administrative things that I'm already not good at for myself, let alone somebody else. And also then, of course, it's for a parent that's passed away, so they're also constantly being confronted with the fact that he's passed away. And all those letters say, oh, we're so sorry to hear about your loss, but now fill out this and this and this and this and that and that form as well, and please sign here. Send it in 3 different copies to this court and that place and blah, blah, blah. Like, they just throw a little sentence in there to pretend that they care, and then they want you to do a whole bunch of stuff that I'm so not ready for. But I know it needs to be done, so that also gets like pushed back as much as I can. Like, I first check to see how much time I've got, and then I'm like, okay, I can leave this for a couple of weeks. I'm leaving it for a couple of days at least. Like, just let it sit there on the kitchen table. I'll see it whenever I walk past, and then I'll be like, okay, I still need to do that. I still need to do that. And then eventually, when I'm in a decent mood, or at least I have enough energy, or it's early in the morning, I've had my first cup of coffee, then I can look at that. But not before then. Kind of reminds me of this little clip that I saw recently, because recently I've also been getting back into Transformers. And there's this clip of, I think, the G3 series, where one of the characters, I think Springer, says something about a couple other Autobots being in trouble. And then Ultra Magnus going, I can't deal with that right now.
Cup and Hot Rod just bought it.
I can't deal with that now.
And it's kind of like that whenever I get something in the mail. Like, I can't deal with that right now. Get a text message, can't deal with that right now either. I'll deal with it later, I suppose, but not now. Either way, so that is my take on how pathological demand avoidance has manifested in my reality. Let me know in the comment section if you ever deal with any of this. How do you deal with it? Any other thoughts you'd like to add? Post them down below. I'd love to read them. In any case, thanks for listening. I hope to see you in another video, and bye-bye for now.